You in this battle, man, I'll soon be dead. I'll glue your face to my dick so I can fuck with your head. I got metaphors coming through my pores. You probably never been in a battle before, so I hope you realize your mistake. There ain't no party, got some candles, this will be a piece of cake.
In 5, 4, 3, 2. Folks, welcome to the 4 Hours Podcast, an internet radio phenomenon hosted by an occasional morning person. I ask the most interesting people I know about their sleep, their routine, life, love, stress, setbacks, and whatever else comes to mind. If you want to write to the show, you may do so. You can write to us at the 4hourspodcast@gmail.com or slide into my DMs, Bobby Sheehan, LOL. But for now, we have fellow redhead, fellow comedian, fellow history buff, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, a good man, Clayton Smith. What's going on, Clayton?
Not much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on, dude.
You said that in order of importance, which I appreciate.
Okay, so what's the most and least important? Is you being a good man the most or least important?
Oh, definitely the least important. Yeah. But me being a redhead is the most important. And being a good redhead, even more important.
See, but you're sort of a sneaky redhead. Like, I feel like if you shaved your beard, no one would know. People would say strawberry blonde if you were barefaced.
Yeah, my hair's been getting lighter and lighter. But the second I take off my shirt, I'm pale as all hell.
Oh yeah.
So can't hide that.
Are you wearing sunscreen right now?
About 3 layers. Yes.
3 layers.
Yeah.
I unironically put on sunscreen every day of my life.
No, really.
Just fuck. Unless I am having a like a lazy day where I wake up and then I don't walk outside my house until it's nighttime, which is not a good idea. But if I do that, then I obviously don't wear sunscreen. But otherwise, it's sunscreen every day of my life.
Yeah, makes sense.
Well, the thing is, I grew up having a baby face, right? And people, like, dude, I used to get pulled over, 16 years old, because they'd be like, we got a report of a 12-year-old driving a car. You know what I mean? It was that bad.
Yeah.
And fucking women don't want to fuck teenagers. They're different than us in that way.
Do they not?
No, they don't.
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
some of them famously do, but they get caught and sent to prison.
Yeah, you can't be hanging around high schools all the time looking for that one teacher.
Oh man, and I mean, listen, I know intellectually it's wrong, but when I see a fucking hot teacher and they're like, they fucked this 16-year-old boy, I'm like, that's wrong. It's illegal. But it's fucking. Here's the thing: is I can see if you're a 16-year-old boy, that's traumatizing. I will go on record as saying if it was me, I wouldn't be traumatized.
Yeah, it would be very cool.
If anything, I'm traumatized that I had to wait another 4 years until I had sex.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm a late bloomer, dude.
Yeah.
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
19.
Oh, okay, dude.
Yeah. I acted like, oh, wow, he was just 1 year after me. I'm like, wow, what a loser. 20? God, 19, man. All right, I was a teenager.
Yeah,
bro.
I mean, okay, so were you, what's that, sophomore year of college?
Second semester, freshman year.
Oh, okay. You're good. Okay. I do feel like the anxiety, maybe I'm wrong, but the anxiety you may have felt was much less than mine because I went a full 2 years of college and I'm like, fuck, it's not going to, it's never going to happen. And thank God the incel movement didn't exist yet.
Yeah. Seriously. I think we just missed the boat on that because I know I had a lot of anxiety about sex even after I lost my virginity, just like not feeling very comfortable with myself. And like, I'm like, man, I'm a fucking loser. I'm not out here getting laid or anything. So
well, the funny thing about being in your late teens or even early 20s, like as a young man, is you think everybody's fucking and it's not true.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But no one's like wearing a banner that says like, I'm still a virgin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, some people are. The Virginity Rocks people are making a comeback.
What's Virginity Rocks? Is that like Christian?
Yes. And it started in the 80s and people would wear t-shirts that say Virginity Rocks. And it was supposed to be like, hey, save yourself for marriage.
Yeah, that is objectively lame.
It is.
It is super lame.
It's one of those things. You can't make something uncool cool. You know what I mean?
No.
It's not going to happen. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting being in a room with another redhead because we don't have organizations or anything.
We should. I'm starting one actually.
Oh, yeah. What's it called?
4 Gingers by Gingers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good book.
Dude, I'm so R-worded that when you said 4 gingers before you said bi gingers, I was like, wait, who are the other two? Like I thought it was FOUR.
Yeah, it's just 4 gingers, like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse hanging out.
That's us, dude.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm interested. Were you bullied as being a redheaded gentleman as a little boy? A redheaded gentleman as a little boy?
Yeah, not really. I like my brother would make fun of me because he's not a redhead. So he called me like, redheaded stepchild.
He got the good genes,
stuff.
so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm killing it over here. So.
You're killing it?
Yeah.
I love that. I love ginger positivity.
Yeah.
I am a self-hating redhead 100%.
Oh, wow.
Dude, if I could snap my fingers and have regular hair and skin, I would do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember feeling a lot of shame about it when I was a kid.
Shame,
yeah.
Oh my, okay. Because even given what I just said, I think shame would be too strong of a word to describe how I feel about.
Maybe less shame. It was more just like, why can't I have like regular hair?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I have like a darker or like a blonde type of hair? But now I think it's pretty cool. I embrace it. And I don't know. I think most like being a redhead, one thing I had to do was like, I always wore like t-shirts in the pool too. That's also like being a chubby kid type thing. Because I would get like super like sunburned.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was a chubby kid as well. I came to this conclusion like as a young adult. I'm like, I have certain physical disadvantages. So let me get rid of the one I can control. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, it's the one thing. I mean, I love food.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too, is like, because I think people will see that now I'm lean.
Yeah, you're a very fit guy.
They'll be like, well, that he must have low hunger signals. And I will say, I think you could look at a person and tell how strong or weak their hunger signals are.
Okay.
I think a lot of like, I think most lean people, unless they used to be fat, and I used to be fat, unless you used to be fat, I think it's less great willpower on your end and more you just don't get as hungry as other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because my life, Clayton, I'm like a little bit hungry all the time. And it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Like those are my two options.
You learn how to control that urge though, and that feeling.
I mean, I carry around vegetables.
Oh, whoa.
I have in my backpack right now, I have vegetables.
You a big snacker?
No, not a snacker. I love that. That sounds like a slur, by the way.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. It was a snacker over here. Am I right?
I feel like no, but because you and I were both comedians, we travel a lot, and not even like travel airplane car wise, but just like if you're doing spots in the city, you're just on the train all the time.
Yeah.
You don't have the luxury of like sitting down and cooking a meal. And because I'm in New York City where we just have, things are open 24/7. I could always get a slice of pizza or go into a bodega and get a candy bar. And I'll tell myself that story too. I'm like, you know what? It's a half-hour train ride home. I need to eat something now. And if I start telling myself that story, but there's vegetables in my backpack, guess what? Now I don't have the excuse to buy that candy bar.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. It's fucked up that evolution, it gave me these hunger signals to keep me alive. And now it's the thing I have to fight.
Yeah, because food's so accessible now.
It's so accessible.
You're just like constantly, you still have like primitive caveman brain. We still have that like animal instinct. Like we don't know when our next meal is going to come. So let's load up on calories now. Let's get a tasty ass slice of pizza. But instead you're like, if I do that, I'm gonna weigh 350 pounds. Like I'm gonna be real bad.
I think I do believe skinny people when they say I eat as much as I want, but what they want isn't a lot.
Yeah.
For whatever blessing they have in their brain chemistry or gut biome.
That's not their addiction. That's not their thing.
Dude, but I was just exhausted a few days ago, and I'm like, I have to house a pint of ice cream And this is what I did. I ate a pint of ice cream while I watched TV. And then pretty much as soon as I was done, fell asleep with my clothes on, my contacts in, not having brushed my teeth, lights on, and woke up at 5 a.m. Fully rested. I was like, damn, I needed that.
Some of the best sleep of your life, I'm sure.
Because my body was like, we really do have to. I know you want to tell your little skits, but we really do have to shut it down right now. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, all right, we did it.
You wake up with that crusty feeling in your eyes.
Do you wear contacts?
Yes, I do.
Now, how often do you fall asleep in them?
I try not to sleep in them, but maybe like now, like once or twice a week, maybe. Like,
okay,
I don't like it. It feels bad. I don't feel as like well rested. My sister actually also wears contacts, but she'll sleep in them for like days. Okay. She just will never take them out. I don't get how anyone could do that.
I think that's bad for your eyes.
It definitely is bad for your eyes. Yeah. She's probably gonna go blind soon. Who knows? Yeah. But yeah, I don't get how you could do that. I hate that feeling.
I hate the feeling of waking up having not brushed my teeth. I could like feel the cavities developing. You know what I mean?
Especially after a pint of ice cream.
Dude. And
what was the pint?
It was Ben and Jerry's Netflix and Chill. Netflix and Chilled. You get the pun there.
I don't know what puns are.
I'll explain it to you off mic.
Okay, but I'm real excited to learn.
It's got peanut butter, it's got pretzels, and it's got, I think, fudge, and it's vanilla ice cream. I love a vanilla ice cream base with a bunch of shit thrown in.
Yeah, it's perfect.
You know what I mean? I want to be on record as saying vanilla. I know we use it as a euphemism for example, someone that's not very sexually explorative, but I think vanilla in and of itself is a tasty flavor.
It's an awesome ice cream.
So what's your go-to ice cream?
My go-to ice cream, it'd probably be Ben and Jerry's, either Americone Dream or what's the other one? Like milk and cookies. I love like a cookie dough ice cream.
Oh, cookie dough is good.
Yeah, that's my favorite. But vanilla, it's the same thing. Vanilla, a lot of stuff in it. And if I'm going other flavor, then I'm going strawberry or pistachio.
Pistachio, okay, because I was about to ask a very controversial question.
Which is?
Mint chocolate chip.
Not for me.
Now,
I don't like it. It's like brushing your teeth and eating chocolate.
You're so wrong.
I'm wrong?
You're wrong. You're objectively wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I hate to say it, dude. Yeah. I love mint chocolate chip ice cream. I also love coffee ice cream. But when I was little, I used to like coffee flavored ice cream. I used to like eating it, and I used to like drinking root beer because my little kid brain was like, I'm basically drinking coffee and drinking beer right now. Like, what an adult I am. This is a fucking stupid.
Yeah, you're a cool kid. Yeah, you were like a business kid. Yeah, at that point.
Yeah, I'll get some coffee ice cream. I'm not like other boys.
Yeah,
give me some coffee ice cream.
I don't like coffee ice cream. Even as an adult, I love coffee, but the ice cream, I'm like, not for me.
Now, how do you take your coffee?
Usually black.
Dude, I drink my coffee black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Hell yeah, brother. Dude. We're tough guys.
Yeah, we're cool. No. You know what I mean?
Pretty much it's down to me not liking to drink my calories is all it is.
Okay.
You know, and also like I do legitimately enjoy the taste of coffee. And I have this weird thing. Like, I don't believe that I've ever had a bad cup of coffee. I have this weird sort of like, I think the worse coffee is, almost like the better I like it.
Really?
You know?
So you like bad like bodega coffee and stuff like that?
I think it comes from like, yes. And I think it comes from like when I used to drink, I don't drink anymore, but when I used to, I was like, dude, Bud Light all day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or like the worse the beer, the better. I'm like, fuck it, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have this weird sort of,
does it feel like punishing in a way? You're like, yes, this is why I drink it. I drink coffee for this reason.
I think I like to be a regular guy that does regular things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I almost feel like
regular guy, Bobby Sheen.
Yeah. Well, I'm an everyman, dude.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a working class hero.
Yes.
But I don't know. I just don't. It's not from. It's like I had Turkish coffee the other day, and with the grounds at the bottom.
Yeah,
that whole
like real sugary too.
And which I don't. I like ice cream, but don't put sugar in my coffee. I'm very weird with like food and liquids, I think. you know, because like I've had low sugar ice cream. That's not as good. I'm learning that my favorite part of the ice cream is the sugar, but don't put sugar in my coffee. Like if someone, it's this weird thing. Like if you go to a coffee cart in New York and you'll say like coffee black, for some reason, to me, I'll have a coffee black, please.
Just means straight coffee.
Don't do anything to the coffee. But some people will put sugar.
They just assume you don't want milk.
Yeah.
Because regular coffee in New York
and
is
I can't,
milk and sugar.
It's like I'll throw it out and get a new one.
Oh, wow.
I've done that before.
Yeah. I don't like sugar on its own.
Uh-huh.
Like unless I'm drinking espresso, I'll do like some sugar in that. Coffee, I can do if I'm drinking like bodega coffee, always regular, milk, sugar. Diner, I'll throw in some milk or some cream.
Yeah.
I like an oat milk latte from time to time. But I don't like just black coffee with sugar. It's like a little gross.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I think at that point, especially I watch people because I'm very judgmental. I watch people put sugar in their coffee, and people that go above one packet, I'm like, you're gonna make yourself sick.
Yeah.
You're fucking up your pancreas.
It's just heart disease.
Yeah.
It's just like rotted teeth.
It's like, you're doing the sugar packets now, but you're gonna use the Trulicity later. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Stuff with food is like, it mostly comes from me being a little fat kid. And then I was a fat adult for a little while afterwards.
Yeah.
And so to me, I'm like, I don't know. Some people, they're like, when I get older, I'll get a little fat. That's what life is. But to me, I'm like, never again.
You can't.
That's right. Being fat is the Holocaust for me.
If you start fat though, it's such a different thing.
Yeah.
Like if you start fat, you're always kind of working from a place of like, I was a fat little kid. I carry that thing around with me all the time in my head. Like looking at stuff like I can't enjoy that. That's not for me because I'll eat like 10 slices or something like that. I have to like exert some kind of like control or something. It's always like, I don't know about you, but it's always in my mind. It's always like playing right there. So I don't know. You can't, there's no like, I guess I'll be fat when I'm older. It's like, no, I was fat. I could be more fat now. I could be also fatter when I'm older. It's
I feel like if I take the training wheels off, I could easily be 200, 300 pounds. I'm 5'6".
Nice.
Yeah.
You ever fantasize about it? You ever really fantasize about just letting yourself go? Just leaning in?
No. It's not available to me. There's a certain type of guy. Okay. This is a thing that frustrates me because there's a certain type of comedian that will have lost a lot of weight, right? But they'll also be like tall and handsome.
Yeah.
And they all do this bit. They're like, I used to be real fat and then I lost weight. And then all of a sudden all these women, and I'm like, fuck off.
I lost a lot of weight. Now I'm hot. All of a sudden, magically. Like
I hate it, dude.
I'm just like plowing through puss constantly, man. It's wild.
Dude, the humble brag comedy is like the worst form of comedy, I think. Yeah. Okay. It's a pet peeve of mine. I can't remember if I've said it on the podcast before, so apologies to the listeners if I have. But there's male and female, a comedian will do a or what they think is a self-deprecating joke, and it's this, where the punchline is they refer to themselves as a 6.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you're still calling yourself above average in looks. They're like, obviously, like I'm above the 50 percentile, but like, I'm still humble. I know I'm not a supermodel, but definitely like a 6 out of 10, definitely a C-.
Yeah. And they're definitely saying it in the hopes that someone will come up to them after and be like, you're actually an 8, right? Like you're like, the fact that you were so humble actually makes you an 8 because you're just a 7, but that puts you above. Like, you don't think you're better than any of us.
It's 100% that. I think it's the ultimate fishing for a compliment, because not only will people say like, you were so funny, but they were like, and by the way, you're a 7 or an 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
And we also, I think there's this weird thing culturally. I forget the context, but I refer to myself as having average intelligence. And someone was like, don't say that about yourself. Like whoever I was talking to, they're like, hey, come on. I'm like, I didn't even insult myself.
Yeah.
I literally said I was average.
Yeah.
Average is not an insult.
No, it's not bad.
If someone says to you, you're average in every conceivable way, that I believe is an insult, because no one is average. It's like people are good at.
Everybody has fluctuating qualities. You know, you're either really good at, everybody has some they're probably really good at, and some areas where they're deficient, some areas where they're average. It all kind of works out. Yeah. But if you're just like painstakingly average in every category, it's more insulting, because it's like you are so not noticeable in any way. You just sit right in the middle of every conceivable like way. I think
the two avenues in which I think people won't allow themselves to think that they're average are, for some reason, looks and intelligence.
Yeah.
Oh,
everybody wants to excel.
Everybody wants to. I will say there's only 2 people in my life that have referred to themselves, in all seriousness, as being not funny. Now, I mean, and I say in all seriousness because, like, as a comedian, I mean, I constantly am like, fuck, dude, I'm not funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But there's definitely moments where you're like, I don't know how I've ever thought I was funny. Like, I've never been funny.
I can't believe I've pulled the wool over people's eyes for this long.
Yeah. But deep down, you're like, I'm fucking hilarious. All right. I'm the funniest guy. You know?
Well, you couldn't as a comedian literally think you're unfunny and pursue this for long. You could be unfunny, and we could, actually say a comedian you don't think is funny into the camera. But yeah, the 2 people in my life that have referred to themselves as not funny have had one thing in common, and it was their gender. They were women.
Oh.
So, and I think that's fascinating to me because okay, I remember one was a lawyer and a successful lawyer. So it wasn't even like, oh, I'm not funny. She's like, that's not a quality I possess. I'm very good at litigation though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And to be like a successful lawyer though, you have to have some personality. You have to have like a lot of personality actually.
And I disagree with her. I think she was funny.
Yeah.
But I've never personally met a man who thought he wasn't funny.
I think we're incapable of thinking that. There's no man with that level of humility. No one. It doesn't matter how unfunny you are. Every man thinks he's like just like a funny dude.
And I think they fall into 2 categories. Then, so you have attractive men. And attractive men are walking around thinking they're funny all the time.
Yeah. Who's going to correct them?
It's like that John Hamm character in 30 Rock. Like you could just...
It's like the hot bubble or something like that.
They're in the hot bubble. Yeah. But unattractive men, I'm trying to imagine how they must feel. I think that it's too much to handle to be like, and I'm also not funny. Because what's the biggest like coping mechanism for a less than ideal looking man is like, I'm gonna hee my way into some pussy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If you don't have the hee capability,
the hee,
I'm gonna hee my way into some pussy.
Hee my way into some pussy right now.
Rubbing your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slide into those DMs like in a real funny way. Yes. Yeah, I think there's a mode of unfunny man too, which is like guys think they're funny by just quoting movies. Like they'll quote like Step Brothers or Anchorman or something like that, and they're like, I'm funny. I just quoted that funny line. And that's like all they know how to do. So that's not really funny after a while. It's just super annoying. It sucks.
Yeah. There's we're both the same. How old are you?
29.
Okay. I'm 33. I knew we were roughly the same age because of the Step Brothers reference.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if Gen Z men, I don't know if any young man with a broccoli haircut is quoting Step Brothers. They're quoting something else that I wouldn't even know what they were.
It's some
referencing.
TikTok trend, probably. Something.
Are you on TikTok?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do plugs at the end, but I was just wondering if you're on
at
TikTok.
Clay J. Smith. I'll throw in a plug when I see a plug opportunity.
At the end.
When I see it.
No, someone, I guess you sort of have to be when you're a comedian, right?
Yeah.
To be on TikTok. But I'm not like, I'm not super comfortable with having Xi Jinping know everything about me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't
me and him are besties.
Yeah, your boys?
I tell him everything, like some of my deepest, darkest secrets. I just trust him. If he can lead China, dude, then he can lead me to like positive emotional health.
Yeah.
That's how I look at the world, bro. World leaders are my friends.
World leader, all of them?
Yeah, every single one. And that's come into a lot of conflict lately. Yeah. Let me tell you, it's always can't be friends with Putin and Zelensky. It's a little hard.
There's this reel that someone sent me where it was I felt bad watching it because it was like one of those man on the streets things, and it was like, I'll give you $1 if you could name 5 of your favorite white people. And so both
easy.
The interview.
What an easy way to get $1.
It's hard for me to name a white person I don't like.
I know. There's one of them on the dollar. Come on. Head start.
So, by the way, both the interviewer and the guy getting interviewed are black.
Okay.
And I felt bad because the guy answering the question, I think not the sharpest person in the world. I think maybe even was intellectually disabled in some way.
Okay.
But you got to get content. So
this kind of like just preying on people. Like
first of all, anyone that walks by someone carrying a microphone be like, oh yeah, I'll talk to you. There's something off with them already. Because like 99% of the time it's either like you're getting tricked or something. So I don't know. This poor guy being asked, name your favorite 5 favorite white people. And he named like basically he was like Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, George Bush. And I'm like, where? Very few people like all of those people you mentioned.
Yeah, I think these are just the first white people that came to mind.
And it seemed to him like he was like, man, they the president. You know what I mean? Like he's like one of the few people that's like, well, you got to respect the office.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're clearly the top white people.
Yeah.
That's top whites.
Yeah. And there was a beauty to him being like, man, Donald Trump, he's the president. Man, Joe Biden, he's the president. And I'm like, fuck, that's such a nice way to feel.
Yeah, it really is. It's such a respect for the office.
Because 99% of people are furious at one or both of those guys.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's the 1% of people that's just like, I like anyone that's able to win an election.
We should maybe all strive to be like that guy a little bit.
Dude, it's
maybe not, but
yeah.
I think about it.
I'm losing my mind that Trump won the primary. That's crazy to me. The New Hampshire primary.
Yeah.
To me, that means that he's gonna win the Republican primary.
Definitely.
And that it's gonna be Biden versus Trump part 2.
Yeah, and it's gonna be horrifying. It's going to be like the worst rehash of an election.
And I know we're on YouTube and people are going to insist that I have Trump derangement syndrome, but he is a bad president. He is a bad person to have as president. It's a very brave thing.
You're a very brave guy.
Yeah.
that is a hard stance to take these days.
Yeah.
That Donald Trump is a very bad president. Maybe one of the worst ever. Definitely, I think top 3 worst.
It is. I'm not going to go ahead and say brave, but there will be comments calling me a liberal cuck because this is YouTube, and for some reason, like Twitter,
YouTube's gotten like right wing.
It's weird. Twitter is, and still, even with Elon Musk, Twitter, X, whatever, is still very left leaning, and YouTube is very right leaning. Like I've been posting my stand-up clips, and I'm not a very political guy. Like on stage,
on stage.
No,
you're not,
I'm really not. But like I'll have like literally I'll have a joke with I'll have a bit with a Biden joke and a Trump joke in it, and a lot of the comments are like, my favorite one is, I bet this guy drinks Bud Light. I'm like, that's so funny that's the fucking, like, that means I put cocks in every hole that I drink. First of all, I don't drink Bud. I don't drink any beer. Okay?
You used to, though.
I did. And
it definitely polluted your mind.
Fuck.
All right.
Fuck, he got me, dude.
Yeah. That's how they get you. All right.
He got
That's
me.
That's where the woke mind virus comes from. All right.
Yeah.
From Bud Light. And from other liberal products, I'm assuming.
I don't know. My politics are kind of weird because I am like I always vote Democrat.
Are you like a center left kind of guy, moderate?
I think like conservative Democrat probably.
Oh wow.
We talked about this on mic. I do like the police, and
Yes.
if you're watching on video, Clayton feels differently.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, although there's a
ironic
whimsy.
enough way to wear a Simpsons version of it.
That's nice. Yeah, it's like, listen, this is how I feel, but also I do like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's mostly for the Simpsons.
Yeah.
but also fuck the police.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to me because we brought it up off mic, but I do think we should talk about it because I like the police. As I told you, I'm Irish Catholic, so my uncle's a police officer. My grandfather's a police officer. I would be a silly goose to not think that there's any problems in the United States with policing right now. But like, for example, are you a like replace the police with like community policing, and how does that work? Like what? And maybe I'm thinking too much into this.
I wouldn't say like I have actual like proposed solutions in this way, but I do think like we over budget the police, especially in New York. Like we let them get away with murder, like literally, but also like we just they're too much of the budget, and they also like drive up like overtime a lot. Oh, especially on the MTA. Guys? Yeah. That's weirdly like the strongest union in the country is like the police unions. And as a pro-union guy, I'm like, well, I like respect that. I do think there definitely is a place for police. I'm not as far like left in that way of like complete like abolition, like all this stuff, and like. But there is a place for police, but I think we need like more like community services and ways to address more of like systemic social problems and economic problems than just like throwing cops at it. Yeah. Because cops don't really prevent crime. They just like respond to it.
That's the thing, dude. When people's first answer, because I think about self-defense a lot.
Yeah.
I've been roasted, possibly correctly, for carrying pepper spray with me wherever I go, even though I am a man. And the because I'm not paranoid. I'm not like, oh, someone is going to assault me on the subway.
Yeah.
But I have been assaulted on the subway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's smart. It's not weird to think about self-protection.
No, self-preservation is huge. Like
the response to that sometimes is like, well, what about the police? I'm like, the police can't be everywhere because that's not even a criticism of the police. That's just physics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're not omnipresent. They're not like God. They're not everywhere all at once.
What's the expression? When the police are needed. Wait, when seconds matter, the police are minutes away.
Oh, that's a good expression.
Yeah. And so yeah, most of it is just fucking finding like a crime has already happened. It's not crime prevention. Yeah. It's like, all right, let's try to find the person that committed the crime. And in New York City with 8 million people, I mean, how are you gonna find them?
Yeah, seriously.
Although there are cameras everywhere.
Yeah, they love cameras.
Dude,
I love cameras.
My buddy was in jury duty and he was like, I can't really tell you about the case. It was a criminal case. But what I can tell you is if you are in New York City, you are constantly being filmed.
Oh, wow.
Because the evidence they had was just CCTV after CCTV.
Dude, so you're telling me we get tons of exposure? We're getting like, can I put this on my reel?
Uh-huh.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting, but I of course I bring my bias because I grew up Northeast Catholic, tons of cops in my family, and it's interesting because I know you, so when I saw the shirt, I'm like, that guy's not full ACAB. I know he's not. He might be a little. Okay,
I'm not like I do think there are. Like I wouldn't say full ACAB, but I think like the police as an institution is like pretty corrupt.
Yeah,
I think it depends. I think it's situation by situation.
Well, now I'm okay because I had this moment like in the summer of 2020 when it came to like we're gonna talk about our morning routine soon, folks. Don't worry.
Yeah,
but
we gotta get through some real serious.
We're gonna figure this out.
I mean, this is gonna drive YouTube comments up the wazoo. All right. That's why I did it to trigger people. That's why I do. I'm a provocateur.
Yeah, he's
in my Simpsons.
Yeah.
Pullover.
To me, because this summer 2020, I saw ACAB everywhere, and I'm like, all right, we're headed towards somewhere bad, because if you're unfamiliar, ACAB stands for All Cops Are Bastards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if we're at a place politically where we're like, anyone wearing a uniform is a bastard, I'm like, that's a pretty bad place for us to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not an alarmist, and I'm not even conservative, but to me, I'm like, well, that's too far. But now, if you're saying to me that maybe someone that spray painted it, if you talk to them about it, they'd be like, I actually hate the institution.
Yeah.
As it is now, and we should make it better.
Yeah.
And also, the way to make it better isn't necessarily more money. They have more money. They have a lot of money. It should be used better.
Yeah, it should be used more strategically. There should probably be more training
I think
that's needed and stuff. And I think like that's kind of the pitfall of political slogans in general, is because they're so overgeneralized and like overly simplistic, because in some ways they kind of need to be, that it leaves out a lot of nuance that I think people do feel and they engage in. And if you really talk with somebody, you're like, hey, you know, I have my Irish Catholic background. Like I have family members who are police officers. Like I feel this sort of way. How do you feel? And then there's more of a give and take there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and that's how you actually come to like a solution, is to actually like engage with people and work within something.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah. Political sloganing, it's almost like too vague to be useful, or it's like purposely provocative to get the people the furthest to the left or the right excited.
Yeah.
But then it alienates everybody in the middle.
Yeah.
So yeah. So like I said, I grew up in the Northeast as a fat boy. You grew up in Arizona?
I grew up in the Southwest as a fat boy.
As a fat boy.
Right. I grew up in Yuma, Arizona, right on the Mexican border.
Ooh.
So a lot of Mexican food I was eating being a fat boy out there.
Dude,
so
I love
good.
Mexican food, by the way. Oh, and also, shout out to Mexico. The U.S., because of Mexico, is not the fattest country. Because Mexico is.
Yeah, they are. They are. It's we'll get back. Yeah, we'll get it back. All right, we get it. The title has been taken from us, but we're out there. We're putting in time. Not at the gym, but we're putting in the time at the pizza parlors.
Although my favorite
KFC,
my favorite type of guy at the gym is guy that's as fat as he is strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he could fucking bench 4 plates. And he loves eating.
Yeah, he's got a huge pot belly. Planet Fitness body. It's a bunch of like they're like older dudes, like 40s, 50s. But they're like yoked up top, huge, huge belly, no legs. Never do leg day.
They skip leg day constantly.
Yeah,
dude. It to me, I almost like, because I mean, I'm so in it for aesthetics. Like I want, like, I think when I'm leaner, my face looks better. And then, you know, muscular, but not too muscular, lean, but not too lean. And these guys are like, I just want to put up as much weight as I possibly can. And I don't give a shit what I look like.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. Dude.
Yeah. That is cool.
Yeah. So you're growing up in Arizona. What's Arizona like? You might be the only person I know from Arizona.
Well, it's very hot where I'm from. It's like 118-degree summers. And it's also, Yuma, Arizona is the sunniest place on earth. So being a redhead, that's terrifying. Like that's too much sun. It's just the and by that I mean like it's most continuous days of sunlight per year. It's like 320, 330, something like that. But where I'm from is very like agricultural place. A lot of lettuce gets grown there in the winter and stuff. There's a lot of Marines, big Marine base there.
Oh, okay.
There's the Yuma Proving Ground where they test out weapons to use like in the Middle East. They want to see if it will withstand the heat.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. This is the, training ground for Iraq and Afghanistan and stuff.
Fuck.
But Arizona, when I was growing up, it was a very racist state for sure. That was like Joe Arpaio was sheriff of Maricopa County, which is not my county, but the one next to it. That was around the time of Senate Bill 1070, the Show Me Your Papers law.
Okay.
And we had, I forget the Senate and the House used to be filled of like crazy dudes. It used to be called the meth lab of democracy.
Okay.
Arizona. Like if you could think of one wild thing to do against Mexicans, then it was going to be done in Arizona, you know? Yeah. Jan Brewer was governor, terrible governor.
I do remember Jan Brewer, but I have no idea why.
Do you remember the photo of when Obama came to Arizona? She had her finger right in his face. Like this is like second year of Obama's, like this is like 2010, 2011. Coming off Air Force One, and no matter the political party or affiliation or what's going on, there's usually just like a cordial like handshake and, you know, welcome Mr. President and all this, and she's just right up there like yelling in his face as he's getting off the plane.
Yeah, there seems to have been a shift in our lifetime with just civility in general.
Oh yeah, conflict drives everything, especially with like 24-hour news cycles, and then now with social media and, you know, especially then like Fox News, like that'll drive up ratings.
And
on
I've
Fox
watched
News.
comedians I know on Twitter, like that I personally know, and I think they just are leaning into it. I think it's audience capture 100%.
Oh yeah, you think there's just like they see a market there and they're just going to go for it?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I do think the term grifter is overused, because I think sometimes it's applied unfairly because people do change their minds.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
So grifter in that sense has become like the new flip flop. Remember flip flop?
Oh, like John Kerry when he would windsurf that ad.
I wasn't sure because you're only 4 years younger than me, and I remember the John Kerry election was like the first one I paid attention to.
Yeah, that was that I was kind of like ambiently aware of it. You know, very political family, so I was like kind of aware of it, what was going on.
Your family's political.
Yeah,
in the same orientation as you.
Yes, fortunately, like. So my grandfather was a district attorney in Colorado, and kind of helped out like locally with like the Kennedy campaign in 1960. I remember he had like a little frame picture of the Kennedys. They had just some formality they sent out to everyone, but they would put it up around Christmas. And I'd be like, that's so cool. And my dad's very involved in like Democratic Party stuff in the state of Arizona. So big political Democratic family.
Okay. Do you think that was related to you being fat?
Yeah, definitely. Because, you know, because I just wanted handouts, and I wanted handouts of ice cream, and I didn't have self-reliance. All right. And I didn't pick myself up by my own bootstraps and go on a run.
Oh, he couldn't pick himself up at all. I mean, who could?
No. Yeah. who could forklift this little fat guy up, you know?
Well, that's interesting because my family is, they were conservative and they switched sides at different points.
Okay.
So George W. Bush made my dad a liberal.
Nice.
And Donald Trump.
It's a good one to make you a liberal. He's terrible.
Well, you know, the point where it actually, you know what? It's almost cyclical though, because I remember my dad telling me that my grandfather was very conservative, but you know, no one's one direction in everything, right? So he was like very conservative, but he was in a union and he was a union guy.
Nice.
And then so when Reagan fired all of the air traffic controllers, my grandfather was like, now I vote Democrat.
Wow.
Forever now. Yeah.
Good for him.
And I guess the Iraq war was that moment for my dad too, because there was I don't know if you remember it, but during a White House Correspondents' Dinner, as like a bit, George W. Bush was like filmed. They showed the film at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, but this is after the war in Iraq, where he is literally looking for the weapons of mass destruction, like under the couch, behind the chair. Ugh. And it was done in a way of like, look how self-deprecating I'm being, but everyone just started booing because you know there was young people
real
dying.
Fun. Yeah, a bunch of our kids died. Thank you.
Isn't that crazy?
Thanks. What a funny gag.
That is so, his thumb was so off the pulse of how people would feel.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Donald Trump just turned my mom into a liberal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the final.
I think once grab them by the pussy came out, you know, and not all women feel this way. I bet there's some women that are like, I love Donald Trump more because of that.
Mm-hmm. I want to be grabbed by the pussy.
I want a strong rich man to grab me by the pussy.
Yeah.
I bet there was women going around like, I mean, no, like if a man is rich, they can touch our pussies. Does no one feel this way? I thought everyone felt this way.
What if the opposite happened? What if there was like a super conservative woman running for president who said something like, just grab him by the dick? Do you think guys would be like, yeah, I want to be grabbed by the dick?
Dude, if anything could make me go full MAGA, it's that.
Yeah.
God damn. A strong,
just a firm hand right there on the dick.
Dude.
Pulling you in this country to a better direction.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they say crazy in the head, crazy in the bed, right?
Yep.
Like I don't agree with Lauren Boebert on most things, but I think she would be a better lay.
Oh yeah.
Then I don't know. I think you have very nice starfish sex with AOC, and you have a nice. This is wildly disrespectful.
Yeah.
But Lauren Boebert, I think will like fucking. I think I would jizz harder than I've ever jizzed in my entire life.
Definitely, because you're hate fucking at that point.
So if you're watching, I know you're out of a job now. You have a lot of free time. Do you think she would come on the podcast?
Yeah, she definitely would.
But I don't ask her. I don't ask her about politics. It's the opposite of this interview where I'm just like, so what's your morning routine? I just don't talk about politics at all.
Yeah,
that might be kind of interesting. Well, I guess it would be inevitable that it would come up eventually. If the thing you're famous for is politics,
it's got it. She'll weave it in.
Yeah,
don't worry. She'll come in with the Simpsons hoodie that says "I love the police."
And we have to hear both sides.
Yeah.
That's honestly the frustrating thing for me though, is that I feel like a lot of the times the only people that will at least publicly be like, I support the police are also like very right wing. You know what I mean? So it's almost like
I feel establishment Democrats do that too.
Okay,
I think they'll come out and support police.
Hey, establishment Democrat guy right here. I think that's beautiful. I think that's wonderful. I had this conversation with my friends one time. It was on my old podcast. I think it was either Matt or Joe. They said being a liberal Republican is like cool. Like if you're a liberal Republican,
that's just being a libertarian.
Yeah,
it's just being a guy who hates paying taxes and loves smoking weed.
But what's the exact reverse of that? Is a conservative Democrat.
Yeah,
and politically they're very similar. But the former sounds so fucking cool.
Yeah, because you're like, dude, you're a Republican, but you're cool about it.
Yeah.
In like a cool way. And like being a Democrat who's conservative, that's the ultimate thing with the left is they're just not pleased with anything.
Yeah.
And they fight amongst each other constantly. So you're a conservative Democrat, they're like, you're just a Republican, dude. You're just like lame, you know, like
closeted Republican. I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I think January 6th was bad. You know, I swear, you know, yeah, it's this weird thing. I actually, I was thinking about this the other day that, so it's like common knowledge, like you said, like the left eats their own.
Yeah.
In a way where the right, like I know so many people, during like conservative friends of mine during the 2016 primary, they're like, there's no way we could fucking have Donald Trump be president. And then when he won the primary, they're like, Trump 2016. You know what I mean? It's
they
like
fall in line. They coalesce around power.
Meanwhile, like, yeah, the left is just not. There will be a contingent. They're like Bernie or bust people. You know what I mean? Or even Jill Stein. God bless her. Jill Stein has the political opinions of Bernie Sanders with none of the charisma. Because I know a lot of people that are like, I don't agree with Bernie politically, but I respect him.
Yeah.
But
you respect anyone who's like that convicted in their beliefs and like speaks that plainly, I think, you know, or has the affect that they speak, you know, plainly.
So I think in a similar vein, so the left eats their own in the way that the right doesn't. I think women as a class, I've been on social media a little too much, but women don't really make fun of other women the way that men will make fun of men. And okay, so I'm thinking of two related things here. Because I saw, and this is just rage bait. I know whoever's posting this is doing rage bait.
Yeah.
But a guy posted, "Men hate to see this," and it was like a little bit of a like a pudgy belly on a woman, right?
Yeah.
And all the comments are men and women going like, "Dude, this is fucking incel. You know, you're gay. Whatever. Stop policing women's body."
Yeah.
And fine.
It's weird to be body positive, but then also homophobic. It'd be like, you're gay, dude. Like, stop being gay about this.
You're being a problematic fag right now, dude. You not accepting pussy.
Yeah.
I saw also I'll see, because I feel like these are the victims of rage bait are like heavy women and short guys, right? So there'll be a meme, like there was a meme about like, this is how guys under 5'9" be cooking, and it's a literal little person sitting on the counter scrambling his eggs.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Yeah. And but I'm looking, dude, at no point was there a man in the comments being like, "Hey, come on."
Yeah, hey, that's not fair, dude. Short kings rule, all right?
It never happens.
Yeah.
So in that sense, like Republicans stick together, women stick together.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Therefore, women are Republicans. This is
by transitive property.
Here, all right?
So take me through your fat little kid journey, because I had one, and the listeners have heard it before. So did you get taller? Or did you get healthier?
Both.
Okay.
I got taller a little bit, but I also started wrestling in high school, and that's perfect for anybody with body image issues because it just reinforces them constantly. It's like, yeah, you should just drop a bunch of weight in an unhealthy way. So I lost a good amount of weight doing that, and then I played football for 3 years in high school. So wrestled 4 years, football for 3 years. So I started like lifting weights and just filling out a better body shape. I'm a little overweight right now, but like,
I don't think so.
Oh, thank you. I was fishing.
Yeah.
I was out at sea.
I'm a New York 6, but
yeah, real New York 6 over here with just a little. I'm so chubby,
I can't tell you how jealous I am of you that you discovered in high school lifting weights.
Yeah, very fortunate.
Because I think if someone just told me, because I wasn't athletic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if someone just
Neither
told
was
me.
I'm a very unathletic guy.
Oh, but you played football.
Yeah, played center.
Oh. You don't need to be an athletic a guy that knows nothing about football.
Yeah, you don't have to be athletic to play center. You just need to be very comfortable with your sexuality, because there's a man with his hands right on your on your nuts and your ass every play. But yeah, I was not very athletic. I'm not very fast or anything like that, but they're okay.
Wrestling is good too, and you're kind of tall.
Yeah, like 5'11".
And isn't that a disadvantage of wrestling?
A little bit. It's harder unless you know how to like my buddy's like 6'1". He was a really good wrestler, but he knew how to use his legs.
Oh, okay.
And if you get a guy who like leg rides you, that sucks. Because he could just like squeeze his legs in yours. It's so erotic. But
we're both getting hard right now.
It's
one of my legs are crossed.
When's this podcast over? I need to go to the bathroom. So yeah, but it's better to be just like a shorter, stockier dude, because you're like nimble and that's perfect wrestling body.
So, by the way, fans of the podcast, you know that Clayton is an honest man because he just referred to himself as 5'11".
I did,
and that's beautiful because you could have easily rounded up, but you chose not to.
Yeah, I want to do so, but I think I'm the only honest 5'11" man out here, because most guys who claim to be 5'11" are really like 5'8",
right?
And like guys who claim to be 6 foot, 6'1", usually 5'11", right?
Yeah, because 6 feet even sounds suspect.
It is, but it sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Like, being 6 foot just sounds awesome.
But saying I'm 6 feet tall is like saying I make exactly $100,000. It's like, oh, really?
You just check every box?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
So what's the experience of cutting weight in wrestling? Because I've heard stories, but I don't know how much they're true. I didn't wrestle.
Guys would just like not eat a lot. Some guys like lean bulimic, like just like throw up after meals or after practices. You're sweating out after practices. So like you weigh in before practice and then guaranteed after practice, you're 3 to 5 pounds lighter just by how much you like sweat out. And then if you're close to weighing in, you won't like hydrate or you'll do certain things. Sometimes you're like a pound over and guys just put on like the sweatsuit, the sauna suit and just like run in it to try and just like empty their bodies of like, all liquid.
And those that survive weigh-in get to participate.
Yeah. Then you get to wrestle. Then you get to do like the most physically demanding sport. It's like swimming. You use your whole body the whole time.
So do you have a morning routine?
Oh yeah. I do. I wake up, I usually meditate. I meditate every day. And when I do it in the mornings, it's better. I usually go to the gym. Like after I'll do like some weightlifting or I'll go on a run on good days. That's usually like my like morning routine. Some tea, some coffee.
Ooh, you'll do tea.
Yeah, I'll do green tea.
Okay.
To start.
Does it have to be caffeinated though?
Yeah, I prefer it. I prefer it like that. I like all tea, but in the morning
I need caffeine.
I need green tea. I put a little like mushroom supplement in there now.
A mushroom supplement?
Yeah.
Are mushrooms so important that we need to supplement them?
Yeah. We need to get all your mushrooms in. It's like a lion's mane, like one of those like functional mushrooms things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I know what this is.
It's supposed to be good for your brain.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's like different.
Well, I hate mushrooms and I'm famously R-worded, dude. So I need
Perfect.
Maybe I need a nice little hack that I figured out is if you say R-worded, you don't get dinged.
Yeah.
But it's like that Louis bit.
So
like I'm putting the
I like
word
how
in
you
your
said
head.
R-worded, and earlier you did say fag. Like,
Oh,
you were
yeah.
like, you were like,
But I was doing a character when I said fag. I was doing a character of me 10 years ago.
Yeah. I was doing, if you grew up in the 90s, I feel like there's I almost said it. I'm not going to lie. And I just waited to say it in reference to you. I was like, I can't wait. There's
finally, now's my chance.
Yeah, there's like a grace period with 90s kids. Only 90s kids will understand saying fag. All right.
You might be a 90s kid if you remember casual homophobia in almost every interaction. I love the idea of like making that a meme, but it's all like the negative things. It's like, you might be a 90s kid if 9/11 was part of your formative memories.
You might be a 90s kid if you were super cool with George W. Bush for a short period of time. Like,
my favorite thing about the George Bush phenomenon, because that was the first election I remember, and I wasn't old enough to have an opinion, but I remember that election, the 2000 election. And
I was rooting for W.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Was it because he seemed like a cool guy?
Maybe, but I was like weirdly a Republican from like 10 to 12.
Oh, was it the Alex P. Keaton type situation?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your parents are liberal, so
yeah.
just rebelling for
kinda.
rebellion's sake.
Yeah. It's so weird to be like, oh, I was a Republican from this age to this age. It's like, 10 to 12.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you were just a loser. That like, it's not like, not to say anything about like what party you pick at those ages, but if you're like so engaged in a way that you're like, you're engaged in politics from like 10 to 12, you're probably a loser either way. Like,
it's fascinating to watch even people I went to college with, because I mostly like Facebook friends with those people, right? And I remember them being 100% apolitical. Like I'd ask them, and I remember like an acquaintance of mine, he didn't know what party Obama belonged to. Like that's how unplugged he was. And
either that or he was like, either that or he's super plugged in. He's like, dude, he's basically, is he basically a Republican?
Oh, you're giving him way too much credit.
Yeah, no, he just had no idea.
And now I will see people, those people perfectly apolitical in college, where we're all supposed to start getting political.
Yeah.
And they'll post stuff now. And I'm like, fuck, like they were such, either they were like such late bloomers, or I was like a early blooming little fucking nerd.
I could see that.
Because that was like
you're very into history. You like, we both share this thing about presidents and presidential history, like being fascinated by that.
Yeah.
So I can see that being like an early development for you. But also I feel like there were two big moments that made people very political. Like in our lifetime. It's Obama's like first election in 08. Like I feel like a lot of people got political off that. Or Trump. It's like a post-Trump phenomenon that people are like, no, this matters in my daily life. Like I have to pick a side.
Yeah.
And there's less like a feeling of, I guess like casual indifference.
I think that makes sense. So Clayton, if people want to message you,
all your opinions,
all of their opinions,
and everything you found problematic that I said, and you want to rage message me or just say hello.
He will accept either one.
Yeah, I'll accept anything.
Greetings or death threats.
Any form of communication. I just love when people talk to each other. And
he wants an open dialogue. Dude, and speaking of open dialogue, this flew by.
Yeah.
So
this is fun.
I hope that you'll come back because we just barely scratched the surface. I want to talk about being fat little boys with you.
Definitely.
And I feel like we tried to do that the whole episode and then we got distracted by politics.
Yeah, and by homophobia. But you can follow me at Clay J. Smith on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter. I also have a show coming up on March 15th at Grove 34 in Astoria, Queens. It's going to be my 30th birthday. So it's my big 30th birthday show.
Hell yeah,
Come out, bring me a present. You know, it could be
present is mandatory actually.
Yeah, it actually is. It's you have to buy a ticket and bring a present. And the present can be either like a nice gift, like a nice bottle of wine. I like wine. Or you could just bring a bomb, death threat and follow through on it, If you're gonna talk the game, be about it.
That last part was just a bit. Please do not threaten Clayton or the venue.
Please don't. I'm a huge pussy.
And guys, remember, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'm just playing Night Owls. You know I love you.